welcome to the Movie Mood.
Where we get you in the mood for movies.
We are your humble hosts, Heather.
And Maya.
Yeah, that one was very good. That one was very good. Yes.
I'm doing so many hand movements, but you can't see them.
You can really, you might still hear like...
My rings.
Yeah, mine's got rings on. ASMR. Like...
Okay, that's enough.
But yeah, that's enough of that. We're not an ASMR channel. How are you?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Is that
I've
everything?
got a new piercing.
Yeah.
A conch piercing. I said on my story that I'm getting a conch piercing, and then somebody was like, I thought you said cooch. I was gonna conch. And I was like, yeah. I was like, nope, conch. So that's like the inner part of your ear, like it's a cartilage piercing.
Yeah, like on the inside of...
I was so scared when I was like I didn't make any appointment, I just walked in there and she was like, okay, I'm just gonna set everything up, give me like 5 minutes. And then I was just thinking how this is a cartilage piercing. I was like touching like the ear and I was like, oh shit. But surprisingly, it was like very quick. She just like stabbed the needle and then she just was like, okay, let me just like put on the ball for the earring. And it was like 5 seconds. I was like, wait, what? That's it? And like because it did kind of hurt because it was quite like
hard.
Boom. But it was like 4 out of 10 kind of pain. And then I expected, because everyone says it's like the most painful piercing, and I expected like another, I don't know, I expected it to hurt more because I thought she was going to put in the earring and then it's going to hurt even more than that. But I was surprised. I was like, oh. I didn't pass out anything, so it was all good, guys.
So you remain calm.
I remained calm, and I'm so excited.
Oh, it looks good. It's good. Wish you guys could. Maybe you can update the Instagram. Yes, we have an Instagram now. Let's go. Woo! Look at us. Yeah, where we just kind of post. We don't really post anything in order. We just kind of post whatever. We try. I
posted my mug just too because we hadn't posted in ages.
That got quite a lot of likes as well. I swear. That actually kind of blew up. Your mug. Yeah. Explain your mug to anybody who doesn't know your mug.
My mug is the Twilight meme mug. Bella, where the hell have you been, Loca? With the heart and Jacob's face on it.
Yeah.
And it's just an iconic meme in Twilight. And I also started reading Twilight books. I watched all the movies.
Obviously.
And then I read the first one ages ago. And then, yeah, I found in the charity shop for 50p the second book.
That's so good.
I know. And I'm halfway through it. Nothing's really happening. And then also, literally before you got here, I was downloading audiobooks to listen on my phone. Because I wear my AirPods all the time. But because of my piercing, I can't really do it now. So I only have like one.
You didn't think that one through, did you?
I know. I'm so sad. But oh well. But yeah, so I feel like I'll get through the books quite quicker listening to, instead of Spotify.
Because you're saying it's like quite slow paced reading the books.
700 pages as well. So I got the audiobooks. So hopefully I'll do.
Yeah. Helps you concentrate a little. Yeah. So that's the thing. I'm kind of, I don't really read because I'm like really bad at like concentrating. I'll read like a page and then once I turn the page, I'll forget everything I've just read. So I have to go back and read it again. And then all the words like jumble up.
I know.
It's a problem.
I like books max 300 pages. Because when I see that I'm like quite far on, I feel motivated. I'm like, oh yes, I can finish this book in like a few days. And I think that's why I read so much. But I read like short books.
But this is a long book.
It's a long one. And yeah, so hopefully instead of Spotify, I'll just listen to that.
Yeah.
And that'll be it.
Yeah.
How have you been? Because I've been talking for a while.
No, honestly, talk about it. I'm usually the one rambling. Yeah, and I'll be rambling a lot this one. So I'll just a fair warning. You'll probably hear my voice like 80% time, 80% of the time more than you'll hear Maya's voice.
I don't even know what I'm going to say.
Anyone, she was just going to be sitting here like agreeing. It was like nodding your head.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. But before we get into that, I've been pretty good. I've been working a lot. I went on holiday. I took the horses to this localish forest. And yeah, it was a good time. I did go out, so I went out on like a massive zip wire. Yeah, that was good fun. So then because I ride horses, so I just kind of took her. We went for a little stroll. Yeah, it was quite fun. But I had to come home early because I had to work, which is pain. Quite excited for Saturday. I go to see Everybody's Talking About Jamie.
Yeah.
So excited. I've had that book since like September, so I'm so excited. And yeah, honestly, my half term has just been that really. I've just been working most of my half term. Yeah, and then I went to see my grandma for Easter / birthday. That was good. I got a little bit. My arm's a little pink, not lots, but I've got a little bit of a pink arm because I got a bit of sunburn.
Oh, jealous. They literally scheduled me in for the for the holidays, like the holiday weekend.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? I know.
Literally, that was the Women's Days. Everyone was like sun like tanning and stuff, and then there was me stuck in a drive-through having to deal with annoying customers complaining that they have to wait for the like burger, or like, sorry, this McFlurry doesn't have enough sparkles. Like, not sparkles.
Sparkles. What kind of sparkly McFlurries are you giving out?
Like, chocolate bits.
Yeah,
Pieces.
Are you doing the cream egg one right now?
Oh my god, the syrup is haunted. Because I had to
wanted syrup.
Replace the squeezing thing.
Oh, yeah, like the syrup bag.
Yeah, and they were like, oh yeah, you do it, Maya. And the bag was already opened, and the whole freezer was filled with that. And it was all sticky, but I somehow did it. This girl helped me, so thank God for that. And then, because I was on a long shift, I was stuck on the drinks for ages. So I had to clean the fridge. And I swear, I wanted to kill myself. I was like, no, I'm out of here. Bye, guys.
I always say to someone, whoever I'm on drinks with, I'm always like, yeah, the syrup bags need changing, but I don't know how to do it, so please can you do it? And then I have to like watch both sides. Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't mean the syrup bags. I meant for like the McFlurries, not for the actual machine.
Yeah, but like.
Oh yeah.
But like the kind of like it's you the way you put in the bags for the sauces is the same way you put in syrup bags. It's like pretty much the same thing. But I don't know how to do either. Oh god.
Because there was already a hole and just squeezed it there. So I think I did it not the proper way, but I mean it was. It's
different. It's really interesting here how like different McDonald's are to each other. Like it's kind of because like your cold drinks you have to do it manually, don't you? Like your Cokes and your like Oasis and Fantas or whatever.
Yeah, I have to put in the ice myself.
Yeah. But the one we have a machine that just does it all for you, and you just have to put the lids on and press down like the buttons.
That's so. See, I have to sometimes like even replace the ice and have to bring in the ice. See, this is like so much more advanced.
Yeah, we still. Wait, no, let's say that actually. Yeah, no. Apart from that, that's been my half term.
Love working at McDonald's. Well,
obviously we were planning to do an episode earlier than this, but obviously because it was half term and we were both. It was like the first week you were on holiday, and the second week I was on holiday, so we had like no time to like meet up, and then we were working, and yeah. But yeah, so that's been me. Watched any good movies recently? Before we get into the actual episode, because we've almost been talking for 10 minutes.
Yesterday I watched Tammy Faye and Andrew Garfield was in it. I don't like.
Oh boy, Andrew.
Yeah. It was. I love Andrew. I realized there was this one scene where they were arguing, and I was like, yes, the acting. He slayed that acting.
Slay is my favorite word right now. I can't stop saying slay. Like literally anything else should probably slay. Yeah, Deska Slay.
Yeah.
Deska Slay. That's his new name. I love that so much. Oh my god, he is now Deska Slay.
That fits so well.
Oh, you know, like when at Christmas, like Santa's sleigh. It's like Santa's sleigh. Yeah. I never realized how like much I say. I don't say slay a lot in person, but when I'm like texting, I'll be like slay a lot of the time. And my friend was like tagging me in TikToks of like I know people like sing or whatever, going like, "Well, it's so good." I should be like slay.
Yeah. Andrew was very good. The acting. He had a lot of like makeup to make him look old and stuff, and it's quite interesting to see that. It was quite funny. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. It was interesting, the movie.
I saw a review that was like, "Can we stop making Andrew Garfield try and look old?"
Yeah, I swear he did. I don't think he didn't even look that old, to be honest.
Because he's just so godly.
Yeah.
What is he like? He's like in his mid-30s now, isn't he? And he still looks like he's in his 20s.
I know.
He's crazy. We love Andrew Garfield here. We're like, I think we've talked about Andrew in like almost every episode because
we were reading like reviews on what was it like the Silver Lake.
Under the Silver Lake.
Under the Silver Lake, and there was a photo of Andrew Garfield,
and we were like,
I
oh
literally
my god,
screenshotted it and just
cropped
we have
it.
a beautiful picture.
Like
of Andrew
if
Garfield.
you go on Letterboxd, the cover picture, like the banner picture for Under the Silver Lake, he's got like a beard on. We just looked at him, we're like, oh my god, he looks so good.
And so
yeah. If you go on Letterboxd and look at the banner picture, you'll know what we're talking about. But
if we ever have like a episode about him,
that would be the cover.
That's the cover.
We should just like a whole episode where we just ramble about Andrew Garfield, because that's basically what we're doing now. So we just like dedicate a whole hour to it, because we probably could. But anyway, yeah. I watched Sonic 2 recently.
Yes,
love Sonic 2. I'm going back to see it, and I can't wait. It was so good. I had a massive smile on my face. I don't think I stopped smiling. My cheeks are hurting at the end.
I love the wedding scene.
Oh, the wedding scene was so good. Right, the thing is, the wedding scene was unnecessary, but it was so funny, so I didn't care. If it wasn't funny, I would be like, right, why? Like, why? But it was so funny. I literally didn't even like care that it didn't make sense with the plot, because it was just so entertaining. Like, that's the thing. It's not a perfect movie, obviously, but it's like you just have a good time with it, and it's just there. It's just, I loved it. I'm not gonna go on for rambling about Sonic 2. I don't have the time, but Sonic 2 is great. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, it's great.
It is, and Tails and
Knuckles were the best part of that movie, honestly.
Aww. I love the ending as well, when they were just like bonding.
I know, the ending was so cute. There's a third one coming out next year, and I'm so excited. And then Tails and Knuckles are getting like their own spin-off, so for like a movie or series or whatever.
Yes.
But I'm very excited for that.
Oh yeah, there's a new Batman.
Yeah, new Batman's coming out next year. There's lots of like things coming up.
I don't think I need them. As much as I kind of like the movie, but I don't think it needs a sequel. It does not need one.
No. They should have cut Batman about an hour and a half short and made that as a sequel.
Yeah.
Rather than making it like 3 hours long. I think it could have easily like stopped halfway through, and just the other bit could have been a sequel. Yeah. I don't even know where they're going to carry on the story though. Like how, I don't know.
Unless they're making a completely new
story, but then it's not a sequel, is it? They could just make a new, like a different Batman movie. But anyway, maybe we should, because we're kind of rambling about different movies here, maybe we can do this another time. But I don't know, is there anything else you want to say before we get into the main?
Not really. I don't know, there's nothing. I can ramble on so many stuff, but it's just pointless to kind of,
because we've been talking for like 13 minutes now almost, so yeah, okay.
Do you want to introduce the episode?
Yeah, I would love to. So, I'm going to be talking a lot. So, this movie is Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva.
Yeah.
I'm
just making sound effects.
Yes, just make it just background noises.
Yes.
Or you know, like when like they do like talk shows, and they hold up signs saying like applause and like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a pantomime or something, or like a comedy show, like with like friends or something, like the laugh track in the background. Anyway, my favorite video game movie, the best video game movie, Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is also a very good video game movie, but it's not the best. So, Eternal Diva is the best. I can't think of any other good video game movies that I've seen, but that was my putting a glass down. There's a lot of video game movies that I haven't seen that I want to see, but from what I've seen, it's the best one. And
usually they're really bad.
Mm-hmm. And even once I've seen the other video game movies, I'm pretty sure they're not going to come close.
Have you seen Uncharted?
No,
it's not good.
Yeah, I've heard it's not great. I was going through this list of like video game movies, and I was clicking on a load of them, and all of them had like, well, not all of them, but most of them had like somewhere between 2 and 3 ratings. Like they never really went above a 3.
But I think it's because also Professor Layton is like an animated video game as well.
Yeah,
because
I think that's the thing. I think a lot of video game movies, they take like animated games and make them live action. But like, why do you need to do that? If your original game graphics are animated, keep it that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like it was weird. Like honestly, going back to Sonic again, have you seen the original design for Sonic?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a humanoid, like alien, weird hybrid thing.
And he is so cute.
Yeah, and now he's so cute, and it's like, oh yeah, I love the new designs. But imagine what Tails and Knuckles would look like if they didn't change Sonic. Like God.
No, Tails was quite cute as well.
Tails is my favorite. I adore Tails. Tails is best boy. But anyway, yeah, at this point we should do like Sonic instead. But yeah, so I feel like I need to properly introduce Professor Layton. So Professor Layton is a Nintendo DS puzzle series franchise, if you want to call it, video game, obviously, where there's 6 main games, including a spin-off with Ace Attorney, and in each game, it usually starts with Professor Layton getting a letter, sort of saying like, I need your help, and there's like this mystery that you have to figure out, and him and his apprentice Luke go on like these adventures to try and solve these mysteries.
Number 1 thing.
Yeah, apprentice number 1. Don't you forget it. Don't forget it's his apprentice number 1. And obviously, like, they do like puzzles on the way. Like, you will literally go up to someone and ask for their help, and they'll be like, well, I'm not telling you unless you can solve my puzzle.
You're not going past you. But sorry, I'm so supposed to make.
No, it's entertaining. Please carry on.
Okay.
I don't want to be like the only one talking this whole time, so please butt in when you feel necessary.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously puzzle on the way, and there's puzzles. It's literally just like all puzzles, but it's not all puzzles. Like the story, you can tell that they kind of like care a lot about the stories as well, even though they're completely crazy. Like I couldn't sit here and tell you an entire coherent Professor Layton plot without like putting together a PowerPoint or something. There's a prequel trilogy which actually came out after the original trilogy. It's like Star Wars. This movie takes place in the prequel trilogy. So chronologically, there's Spectre School, and then there's this movie, Eternal Diva, and then there's Miracle Mask and Azran Legacy, and then you go on to like Curious Village, Pandora's Box, Lost Future, and Lost Future is the last one, even though it was the third game released, if that makes sense. And it's canon to the story. It's like completely canon. Like in Miracle Mask and Azran Legacy, they reference the movie because like the city of Ambrosia, which is like this big city which we can talk about, obviously. It's like a big plot point in this movie. Ambrosia has been like discovered and stuff, and they talk about it because it's an Azran artifact. It's like as part of the Azran legacy, and obviously like it was part of the Azran civilization. Obviously, Azran Legacy is the last game, so Intel Diva actually plays a very important part in like the whole story, which I think is really interesting because a lot of like video game movies, like they kind of have like a subplot that doesn't really count towards the original like universe. Like I think like don't get me wrong, like going back to Sonic again, it's kind of like the first one kind of felt like it didn't really feel like a proper Sonic movie because it was kind of so far off Sonic in its plot, whereas the second one it kind of felt like a Sonic story because to us I don't really know too much about Sonic lore, but it kind of, I know that the Chaos Emerald is a real thing, and it kind of felt like a real Sonic adventure.
And that's the first one was just so...
It was like Sonic in the human world, whereas the second one was like the humans in Sonic world. I don't know if that makes sense. I need to stop using Sonic as my sole example because I have seen other video game movies. But yeah, anyway, that's just like a quick introduction. Not very quick introduction, but...
Whilst you were explaining it, I just remembered how it all kind of... I don't know if that's how it started, because I know we were talking about in college how you were saying that you found at home, like the games and everything. But I remember how once we were looking into the X-Men movie, and then we were like, oh, look, there's like a DS game, sort of like aisle. Let's have a look. And then we were just looking at our like childhood games and saying, oh, look, I used to play this as a child. And then you're like, oh my God, wait, look, it's Professor Layton. Oh, I used to play this when I was a kid. I used to be obsessed. But then I got scared of like Pandora's Box and I never played it again. And I think I lost it. Do you think I should get it? Oh, but then I also want this. You know what? I'll get both of them, yeah. Because I think the other one was like Madagascar or something.
No, that was more recently. I think no. So when I first got, the first one I got recently that started it off again was Lost Future, because that was the only one that was in CX at the time. And then once I finished Lost Future, I was on a hunt for the others, and I found Spectre School and Miracle Mask.
Yeah, no, but I meant like we were just looking in general at games, and you found like a completely different game, and then you found Professor Layton, and I think it was Curious Village. And then,
wasn't it Penguins in Madagascar?
I think it was.
Because you were saying about Madagascar. Yeah, I think you're right.
And then you were like, you know what? I'm gonna buy both of them. McDonald's. I just got my pay from McDonald's. Let's buy them. And then that's where it started.
And then I really did open Pandora's box.
And then
Puns.
Just hooked in it, and you were spamming all your stories, and then you're like, I need to buy all of them, and that's how it started.
And now I do have all of them. Apart from the crossover with Titanic, because it's like 50 quid everywhere. But, you know.
So if you never went to CX.
Thing is, I was saying to my mum, I don't think I'd buy Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright online. But if I did go to CX and I saw it in store, I probably would impulsively buy it at the time because it's like right there.
Yeah.
Whereas if I ordered it online, I'd be thinking for days, like, it's not coming out, like, what have I done? I've just paid like, oh, it's like, I paid like about 50 quid for this, like, what have I done? But if I just like bought it, I just impulsively buy it. And yeah, I've heard it's really good. So, you know. Had you heard of Professor Layton before me?
No, because it's not I mean, I saw it in Poland, to be honest, when I went to CX. But before, it wasn't such a big hit, I think, in Poland. Yeah. It was there, but it's not very well known.
I was looking on YouTube at like dubs for Luke's voice, and we were trying to look for a Polish dub, and I don't think a Polish dub exists. Either that or it's just like not well known. Because there's this whole argument between like Luke, American Luke, and British Luke.
Yeah.
And easily British Luke. Because the American Luke just sounds so fake. It's just so obviously fake. It is like an American person trying to put on a British accent, which never ends well. Whereas like the British Luke is just so much more authentic. And people say like, yeah, but the American Luke's version's like, it sounds more accurate to like his age because it's like his voice is like a bit deeper, and it's like because he's like a teenager in the original trilogy, but like still
isn't he like an English boy though? Like,
yeah, exactly. Whereas like Maria Darling, who does British Luke's voice, she's obviously British. But I mean, this is interesting though, because the man himself, Layton's voice actor, is American. He sounds really authentic. I'm team British Luke, but
fair enough.
I think like though someone British would say that British Luke is obviously better, but someone who grew up with American Luke, I can see why.
Yeah.
But like they actually changed the British Luke because it came out in America, because like the original game came out in America before the UK. And British people were like, he's like, why does Luke's voice sound like that? So then they changed it for the British release, which I think is like really good. But so this game, I don't even remember how I got into it as a kid, because I was talking to my friends about like things we used to play before I got back into it, like a couple of months before it, and I was like, I called him a detective at one point. I was like, I can't remember what it was. It was like this game where it was like this detective, and you had to like solve mystery, and you did like puzzles, but I can't remember what it was called. And then that was it. I think I saw it in CEX with you. I think I saw Lost Future, and I was like, oh, wait, I remember this. Like I was just talking about this a couple of months ago. Yeah. Like I remember this. Yeah, and then I picked it up, and then look what happened. I would tell you how I got into it as a kid, but I don't remember how I got into it as a kid. I just remember me and my mum always used to play the games when we were on holiday. And I literally never knew there was a movie when I was a kid.
The movie, let's talk about the
movie. We actually need to talk about the movie. I said I wasn't going to talk about the games too much, but yeah.
I loved it. I thought, because I bought you the DVD, and obviously I might as well watch it. I know you probably will talk about it to me.
So you want to know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And I was a bit scared that I won't like it because I haven't played the game.
Yeah.
But I was like, why is this actually good?
What the hell? So proud.
And I watched it with my brother, and he was so invested as well.
Oh, I'm so proud of your brother. Tell your brother that I'm proud of him.
I will. And I don't know, I wasn't confused or anything. Like, I got the storyline. Yeah. I kind of know what's...
Yeah.
You
just kind of have to invest yourself in the wackiness of it. I think like because I rated it. It's kind of like 5 stars in my eyes, but I think I rated it 5.5 just because me being a fan, I didn't like the storyline as much as the games necessarily. But the storyline's still really good. Don't get me wrong. But I think because I was kind of like I got a bit confused on first watch, and then I watched it like 3 more times, and I was like, I get this now. It is just one of those ones that you do just kind of have to embrace yourself in the universe of it. Just have a good time with it. I do think like, yeah, Layton fans will definitely enjoy it more than like general audiences. But I think general audience will still enjoy it. Like it doesn't mean they won't enjoy it. They still will. And it's a good introduction to like to the whole universe. Yeah.
Because it wasn't like too complicated. That's what I liked about it. It was like there weren't any like references to the game. I don't think as much.
There probably was.
I mean, probably, but it wasn't like something I was confused about.
It wasn't too much that non-players couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, enough references for fans to understand it and appreciate it, but like not too many that like general audience will be like confused what's going on. Yeah. Like, I know. Did you know who Descalay was before he showed up in the movie? No. So. Yeah, so Descalay. So yeah, we love Descalay. We talk about Descalay. Descalay. He first appears in Spectre's Call, and chronologically, Spectre's Call happens directly before Eternal Diva.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the first time we see him is in Spectre's Call. So there's like a bit where Janice says to Luke, like, "Oh, like Luke, do you know him?" And that's like because like Luke knows him from like literally the event, like the game that happens before the movie. You know, you're supposed to know who this is for like to like get it. It was still kind of like he still introduced himself. It wasn't kind of like the thing Marvel movies do a lot is they kind of like introduce a character. And like, I mean, obviously, like diehard Marvel fans would just go, "Oh, I know who that is." Yeah, but like for someone like me, I'm just kind of like, right, who's that? They haven't explained who that is, and then they don't explain it for the rest of the movie. Yeah. Whereas when Descalay does this, "I am Jean Descalay," and it's kind of like, you know, you still kind of you get used to the dramatic king that he is. Movie, I will explain like because I think we talked about a bit of the plot movie. We did not plan this, by the way. You probably can tell, but we have not planned this.
To be honest, the ones we don't plan are always the funnest.
Yeah, because we just they're quite relaxed, and it's just it's having a conversation. We're having a chin wag. We're talking a bit about the plot of the movie, but I'll actually explain the plot of the movie. So Layton and Luke get this letter from Layton's old student Janice. And she's gone on to become a famous opera singer. And she's kind of like, "Oh, so this girl came to see me, and she told me that my friend Melina, that she is my friend Melina, she's been given the gift of eternal life." But she's like, "This is strange. Like, this is like a thing." Mm-hmm. So Emmy, Luke, and Layton, even though like Emmy's not in the movie as much, but she's in it a fair bit. But like, so there's like the opera is about this legend of Ambrosia, where there was this queen that everyone beloved, and then she died, and people made this like vase of eternal life. And I don't really want to spoil too much, but I mean at this point, like
grab a group and go to kind of
then she's kind of like, "Is it real? Like, does this mean it's real?" So they go to investigate it, but then it turns out that when they get there, it turns into something like a lot bigger. So it's like Squid Game. It's literally Squid Game for kids. So it's like, we're going to play this game. You've got to do puzzles, obviously, because that's the other thing. I love how they incorporated puzzles into the movie. It was so good how the way they incorporated it into the movie was so creative, and I loved it. They've got to do this game, so the winner gets eternal life, and the losers like they die. They don't die. They just kind of the floor opens up and they just like drop down into the darkness. Yeah. So obviously Layton and Luke are like, right, well, we've got to play this game because we've got to find out what's going on. And it kind of goes from there. I don't really want to explain the whole thing because I'll be here for ages. It's just kind of that's like the main premise of it, though.
What I like about this movie is because it's like a Japanese. It is Japanese.
It is Japanese, yeah.
And it kind of I love Japanese like not Korean.
Japanese anime.
Japanese animated, like Studio Ghibli. I think it's Japanese. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Korean.
I'm pretty sure. I think Totoro is Japanese. I'm not too sure.
I think that's all Studio Ghibli. It's like
all Studio Ghibli is Japanese. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, maybe, or maybe it's like mixed. I don't know. I'm not like I don't know the facts. I just watch the movies, but I love them, and that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, you like the little anime style. Yeah. And there was like a review for it that I saw that was like, "Yeah, bro, I watch anime." It actually has an anime series, but it's like a spin-off of Catriel, who's like his daughter. The puzzle music, when they're trying to solve the puzzles, like there's like when like they're having to like the music runs out, which is I'm so glad that's not a thing in the games. If I had a time limit for the puzzles in the games, I would still be stuck on the first game.
What's the age rating of the game?
7.
So that's probably why.
Yeah. I don't even think they should have a time limit.
I love how it's like a 7, and then you, for example, you told me how you were stuck with your parents on like a puzzle.
Yeah, I was at my grandparents' house, and my parents, and both my grandparents were there, and so there was me, a teenager, and 4 adults in the room, and none of us could do this one puzzle. And do you know what it was? It was because it was like it's like it's midnight and you've got to light like 3 lamps until for like 12 hours. How many lamps will be lit at like 12 hours time? And the answer is 0, because 12 hours on from midnight is midday, and you're not going to have any lamps on in the middle of the day. And that was the answer, and I was so frustrated. But there's like really hard maths questions in there. There's 70 Pikarat one. Pikarat, by the way, is like the difficulty of a puzzle, and it's like every time you get it wrong, it deducts some of the Pikarats. But it's like a score basically, and the most Pikarats are. I didn't actually finish the puzzle, to be honest. It was like 99 Pikarats, and it was like an extra puzzle that wasn't in the game. But so this was like a 70. That's like hard. Like I struggle on 30 Pikarat ones sometimes, and this 70 Pikarat puzzle, and it was like trigonometry in like a 7 rated game. I can't even do that now at college.
I mean, Japanese people are very intelligent. So
honestly, my respect. Yeah, that's what I was saying to my mum. My mum was like, well, Japanese people must be like more clever than us, and I was like, probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is like carry on, I'll Google it.
But what are you trying to look up? Like I said, it's
Japan. Top country with the highest IQ. Japan, Taiwan,
See,
Singapore, Hong Kong, China, Korea, Belarus.
We're not even in the top list. So yeah, there you go. That explains it. Japan have the highest IQ in the world. So I can't even say IQ. That's how low my IQ is. I'm stuttering a lot.
Poland's number 10.
We love
I'm
that.
not smart at all. I love that.
That's what you get when you move to the UK. So you could be like smarter than me right now, but math and science.
And me having to retake
you passed the last math test and I didn't. So
by 3 points, Mark.
Yeah, but you still passed it.
I can just say that whilst watching the movie, I was just thinking to myself, gosh, I wish I feel like I'm missing out because you've been like spamming a story Professor Layton, and there's me who never played the puzzles, like the games, and I was like, Jesus, maybe I should. But then I'm not a very patient person.
Neither am I.
So like the puzzles, and
you should have seen my search history on YouTube while I was playing Curious Village.
I'm the type of person who likes to do something like straight away, and if I'm stuck on something, I get really annoyed. But to be honest, if I got into, for example, like Professor Layton, you'd probably see me on the bus, like, don't talk to me, I'm trying to solve a puzzle.
You can get it on your phone. The first 3 games you can get on your phone. You have to pay for them, but you can get them on your phone.
Wait, stop.
Yeah, which I'm kind of tempted, because then I could play Professor Layton and not bring my DS out in public, which would be embarrassing. Like, imagine sitting on the bus to college with my DS, like, you know. Maybe back in like 2015 it wouldn't be a problem, but like now, like I don't know, it'd be a bit embarrassing.
I'll have a look then.
Yeah.
Good.
But I feel like, honestly, I feel like I've spoiled like most of the stories for you at this point, but still, they're worth playing anyway, even if you know the story, because it's like the experience of it. And I've only posted like snippets of like what's to come, so. And it's kind of one of those games that, like I said, has so many plot twists and plot points. So it's kind of like you could know a fair bit about it, but still be surprised when you. We need to talk about the characters. Because I know there's one character in particular which you want to talk about. There's the Slay. But we'll get to him. It sounds like Spanish. So I know that someone said. Okay, let's talk about Descalé first then. What the hell? I know someone said that they thought his name was Descole because it's spelt like Descole.
But yeah.
Yeah, we've made a Spotify playlist dedicated to him. Descalé's playlist while he beats his machines. Maybe you can link it. Maybe we should link our Descalé playlist. I saw a review for this movie saying that it was Descalé did not take getting rejected from Phantom of the Opera auditions lightly, did he? And that's like my favourite review because that sums up his character pretty well. He's like that kind of fitted kid who like gets like overly upset when they don't get like the role they wanted.
Yeah, like the main role.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on. Oh wait, I'm halfway through. It's very Phantom of the Opera-y, I feel like, which is probably a good way to describe him. He's very cool. I want to cosplay him because he looks so fun.
Oh my God. Why are you even
Why am I even questioning that? Of course. I have so many characters I want to cosplay. It's like
cosplay every character and then film it for your major project. And then
make a reenactment of the movie and like every character is me.
Yeah.
Yes! Oh my God. We have a green screen at college, so there you go. It could work. I just like green screen myself onto the locations. Just kind of, it'd be like one of those like really bad like YouTube parodies.
Like that girl who like Curious Village plot in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Literally like dubbed. I could like dub over their voices. See, like that's something that we started to learn how to like dub over, dub over in college. See, I could just like dub over the whole movie. I could dub over the song, you know, I could dub over that. Yeah, we just loved Escalate. He's just something about him. Such a cool villain. He's just so entertaining because he's just so dramatic.
Very dramatic.
There was like this one thing I seen like a little episode from like a little side thing from Azran Legacy, and it was something like I can't remember the exact line now, which is really embarrassing, but it was kind of something that was like, oh, how am I going to make a grand entrance now? It was something along those lines, and it was like it was like in the game, and it was like a canon line, and I was like, I love how he's just worried about making a grand entrance. I feel like, can I just play some of his voice lines, because he's just there.
Yes.
There's like this whole video. There's my favorite one.
I was told that my teacher was asking me a question about my project, and I kept on getting like WhatsApp notifications, and it was Heather sending me like Descalay memes,
because we love Descalay. Right, so there's this one which is one of my favorites. I never got it while I was playing Azran Legacy, and I'm really mad about it, but it's when you get a puzzle correct, and they have like these catchphrases, and this is like by far like my favorite.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
He's just such a theatre kid. Like, Ginger's on his way. See if he meows into the microphone.
Come here, come meow.
See, can you meow into the microphone? Oh, hello. We're talking about Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva. I just love how, and he's really interesting as well. Like, this is a massive spoiler warning for Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy, by the way. But
oh my god.
Oh, hello! We're getting so distracted by my cat.
So here's my ear now. Let's go.
Yeah, he's like, I'm kind of seeing you now. Oh no, let's come back over to me.
Oh my god, excuse me.
Oh look, there we go.
Oh my god.
See, oh look.
Just you over me.
Of course,
he's like,
did.
oh my.
Massive spoiler warning for Professor Layton in the Azran Legacy. But his backstory is actually really interesting, because it turns out that he's actually Layton's brother. And everything that he does is to like protect Layton from his dad, because the whole reason why he wants Ambrosia, that you find out in Azran Legacy, is because he wants to get to all the Azran civilizations before like Target, which is like this organization that's like trying to take over them all. This is so cute. Sorry, my cat is like lying on me right now, and it's very, very
cute. He's like loving you right now.
Of course he is. It's me. He enjoys talking about Professor Layton. He enjoys hearing about Professor Layton.
Yeah, Descalay, and he made a grand entrance.
Exactly. Like exactly like Descalay himself. Descalay's biggest fan. Not that he can talk fast. It's kind of ironic how like all the things he did to Layton was just to protect him from his dad. But anyway, that's spoiler talk over now. So we've talked about like the antagonist who we love, obviously, but we haven't talked about Professor Layton. This is like,
we haven't talked about Professor Layton himself.
We haven't talked about Professor Layton himself. Like, honestly, something like this whole universe just has really interesting protagonists and antagonists, because like a lot of, don't get me wrong, I love the Professor Layton villains. No, don't go. I love the professor. Like, love the protagonist like more, a little bit more, but like I still like love the villains like a lot. There's just so cool, especially Descalay, obviously. But anyway, enough about Descalay. Oh,
you start talking about Layton, he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he's like, you're still talking about Descalay now, so I'm going. Oh look, he's giving up on me now. Oh, he's having a yawn. Obviously Layton, like our favourite British gentleman. He's so
elegant, like so gentlemanly, and
he's just so lovable. You can't like not love Layton.
Yeah,
you can't hate Layton. He's just such a cinnamon roll. Like, there's like, he cries in Lost Future.
Looks like a cinnamon roll. Is a cinnamon roll.
Exactly. See, and I feel like Luke he looks like a cinnamon roll, but he could kill you. He was
look like he could kill you. Is a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, so true. Literally, two of my favorite like protagonists of all time. Waldes is one of my favorite antagonists of all time. Layton, there's just something lovable about them. When Layton and Luke cry, I cry. That's like long story short. Yeah, you just can't love Layton. He's just so cool, and he's just so lovable, and Luke is just best boy. Like, he's just so sweet. He's probably my favorite character overall in the entire franchise. I'm cosplaying him to Comic-Con, and I'm so excited. I'm trying to force my dad to be Layton with me, but he's refusing. He really is kind of like, oh, like, Professor, like, I'll solve this puzzle. Like, he's just so sweet. But then also, he will, like, not hesitate to kick someone's ass if he needs to. Like, he will kick ass. And then I love the banter that Emmy and Luke have throughout, like, the whole, like, not even, like, the movie, the whole franchise, but in the movie, there's, like, this, you know, scene when in the car, and then, like, she's like, oh, like, if you want to be his, like, second assistant, and she's like, and he's like, I am not his second assistant, I'm his apprentice #1, and he's so, and then Emmy is a girl boss, love her. Yeah, I love Emmy. She's just such a girl boss. Like, that whole scene where she's, like, fighting off, like, the bad guys, and she, like, catches Luke. And I love that whole bit where they're like, nice to see you again. Oh, no, it's like, sorry, I'm late, second assistant. Apprentice #1. I just like little moments like that where, like, their whole, there's like a sibling relationship, isn't it? You know, it's really sweet. And then Layton's just sitting there like, oh, like, what we're going to do with these two. I really want to be in Professor Layton's university. I want to be a student. I wish Layton could come and teach out of college. I actually be taught, like, media out of college.
Change one of the teachers.
Yeah, exactly. Can we replace him with our tutor, Professor Layton?
Are we thinking of the same one?
Yeah, we definitely are. The one that gave you a shorter deadline for.
Oh, yeah.
Well, honestly, either of them. I'd be happy with either of them. But anyway, this movie is the only time you actually see him doing his actual job. Professor Layton's job is he's a professor at a university, teaches archaeology, and this movie is the only time you see him doing his actual job. Like,
he's never at work.
Like, he's never at work. He's always off, like, saving the world. Like, this new character, Janice, who I think is, like, really fun. I love her character design. I think she's really pretty. Obviously,
I think my favorite is either just like Professor Layton. Like a professor.
Yeah, I love Professor Layton's design because it's so simple.
But it's just so lovable.
Yeah, it's so simple, but he's also so expressive, even though his design's so simple. Yeah, so, and then we also have Melina's dad, Mr. Whistler.
Do you want to know what Melina means in Polish? Melina.
Go on.
Raspberry.
Stop, I'm going to call her Raspberry now. I'm going to call Melina Raspberry now. That's her canon name now. Yes, I love that. That's so pretty, though. I love raspberry's my favourite fruit. But anyway, that's another story. I can't take Mr. Whistler seriously. He's just such a goofy character. Every time he, like, goes like, Melina, I can't take him seriously. I'm sorry. My mum's favourite character is Grosky, Inspector Grosky, the one with the massive chest.
Yeah.
And he just spends the whole movie just trying to, like, stay alive, and, like, it's so. I thought at one point he was going to spend the whole movie just swimming away from sharks, but he does have a purpose. My mum loves him. Yeah. Also, when I was watching it once, my dad was in the room, and that bit where he's trying to wake Janice up on the beach, and he was like, and he was like trying to wake her up, and then my dad was like, do you know the Netflix password? It was like when he was trying to, like, get her through to her, I was like, wake up, I need to know what the Netflix password is. Because and it was just, like, such an emotional moment. I was like, and it just made me laugh. Like, the soundtrack is so, we talked about that music. The soundtrack is so good. Like, that scene, that song at the end where all the songs merged together. Every time I listen to it on, like, a daily basis, it just transports me to another dimension. It's so beautiful. And when I see it in the movie, I get really emotional. And I don't know, there's just something about the Professor Layton music that just really moves me. See, I've done it again.
My ginger.
The music is just so good. It just transports me to another dimension. It's just so otherworldly. I love it. The whole soundtrack is so good. Luke gets his own theme in this movie, which I love. It sounds like Mario Kart music, but I love it, and it suits him so well.
Yeah, I can see that being, like, in a different dimension, like, different world.
Yeah, obviously the Layton world, obviously. Luke gets, obviously, Desco's theme. It's just hard to explain. It just fits it so well. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just fits the whole world of Layton so well. The music's so good. The characters are so good. yeah, I just have nothing else to say. This is the best video game movie ever. Even the credits are like in the same style of what the credits are like.
I haven't seen the credits. Oh.
in the games, like it's the same style.
I was so mad. I was like, why'd you have to do this? I was scared I'd ruin like the CD as well. Because I was thinking, and like I just had a heart attack.
Yeah, so I was like using your present and then it broke.
As well.
No, I'm like so glad
I was like so glad when you were like, oh my god, I watched it and I loved it, and I was like, oh my god, it worked. Yes,
it worked. No, I love having like physical copy of things. Like my favorite movies, pretty much all my favorite movies I have like physical copies of, and I love it so much because it's like you actually own those movies. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's so good because I have my desk at home. I have all the games sort of stood up together and then the DVD beside it because I'm like, yes, it is just part of the collection. You know what I mean?
I will buy the game.
My favorite top hat wearing gentleman. Layton. Okay, just one person wants to say Layton. This man can do anything. He's just so cool. He's just such a cool character. He can play piano. He can play the organ. He can fight an enemy with a sword with a pipe. He does that. He fights Desko with a pipe. What else? He can do something. He can ride a horse. There's so much that he can do.
He's just a professor at it.
He's a professor boss. He slays every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said,
the C doesn't work.
Deska Slay is better. Deska Slay. It just was so natural to say Deska Slay.
Deska Slay. It's like so smooth. I was like,
it is so smooth. Deska Lay, more like Deska Slay. I really wish I had explained these things better than I have done, and I kind of knew it would end up like this where I just rambled and not really made any sense. So I'm sorry that I have kind of rambled and not made any sense, and I knew it would end up this way.
We can always do like a part 2 and like add anything on. I mean, I want to buy a game.
Yeah.
So we will probably be talking about it a bit
Maybe
more.
once you play the game, you can do like a review of it.
I found I literally just found on YouTube. So like I will rewatch it as well, and we could like do more in depth.
Yeah, these are kind of like so these are like our rough thoughts, not really planned out. These are because the plan, we weren't really expecting to do this today, so we were kind of like, should we sit down and do a podcast episode? And I was like, I haven't planned for it, but I mean, it's Professor Layton, so I'll be able to talk about it. Turns out I really should have been more prepared than I am. So, but I'm glad we had a chance to ramble about this because I've been meaning to get this off my chest for a while.
No, but see this. I'm glad we did this because I just came to the conclusion I need to buy Professor Layton games.
See, I've convinced you. I'm so proud. Yes. So yeah, maybe we can do an episode once you've played like the first game.
I forgot.
Hopefully, we'll get another Professor Layton movie in the future. Who knows? I mean, they've released the soundtrack for Lost Future like 15 years on. So they're obviously still like doing stuff with Layton, even though they're not making any more content. They're releasing like soundtracks on Spotify now. So, and they had an art competition.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of reviving.
I hope so. I mean, the fandom's keeping it alive. The fandom is carrying the game at this point. It's carrying the fandom at this point. Like, so I don't know. I heard there's a fan game in the making, Professor Layton fan game in the making. So we'll see. That'll be interesting. But. So hopefully, because there has like an active Twitter account and stuff. Like they held an art competition like literally a month ago, for the 15th anniversary. So it's obviously still kind of somewhat alive, somewhat. So hopefully, I just want another movie at least.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram. Follow our Letterboxd. We'll link the Descalay playlist. Yeah.
You need to post some content, or like you're making edits. You know, you need to get the Layton fandom on our, Instagram. Yeah.
There was some Layton fans liking our post about Descalay though, and I was like, yes, love you guys. Shout out.
Likes, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to everyone following us and whatever. Yeah, that's all I have to say, really. I mean, it's not, but it is.
For now.
Next time, whether it's about Professor Layton or not, which we probably will talk about Professor Layton at some point again in the future, we will be more organised, I promise. So I hope you enjoyed our waffle and our ramble and our unorganised waffle about Professor Layton. So I've been Heather.
And I've been Maya, your two favourite humble hosts.
It's been a bit of a shambles, but thank you for listening to the Movie Mood.
Where we get you in the mood for movies.
And yeah, we'll see you next time. I'm so sorry.
Bye.
Bye.
Remember to discuss you.
Yeah.
That's a bit
Live,
cringy.
laugh, desk slay. No, wait, what's another day, another desk slay. There we go.
Oh.
Another day, another desk slay.
Love it.
That's my life motto now. And with
Yes.
that, we'll leave you. Goodbye. Thank you for listening.